All right, good evening, everybody. Well done for making it out in the rain. Right? I thought I was going to present to only the camera, and good evening to everyone who's tuned into the live stream. That's why we have a live stream. You could have stayed at home like everyone else, right? Enjoyed yourselves. So we're having terrible weather in Gauteng, but nonetheless, we've got a little audience here, so that's wonderful. Welcome. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 60 minutes with you. We're going to go through what this business proposition is all about, who the company is, and after the presentation, you're welcome to come speak to me, ask me any questions that you might have. So let's begin. So you can see DuePoint is a division of Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia was founded in 1952, a very long time ago. That's their building in the background, their orange logo. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there, very important. You'll notice outside above the water cooler in our foyer, we've got all our licenses, our FSB licenses on display. Those are Financial Services Board licenses. So we've got a license to operate in short-term and long-term insurance, investment. We've got our FSP license on display. We've also got our accreditation with the Direct Marketing and the Direct Selling Association. So go take a look at those. Credibility is very important. And we trust that you want to trust the business that we're going to be speaking about, right? That's a fundamental step, that you trust this company that we're going to be discussing this evening. The executives and the managers are these people up on screen. The three people on the far left are all registered chartered accountants, starting with our senior executive, Brendan, who was here earlier. He heads up this division. He's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. Him and his brother, along with their father, founded PMD, Prime Meridian Direct, which is the fourth biggest short-term insurer in the country at the moment. His father founded Clientele Life. His father founded the IFA. And they've started a host of financial service businesses around the world. So they've had a lot of success in that space. We're very lucky to have Brendan heading up this division. Tim and Stacey, they head up our auditing, the accounting, and the regulatory aspects of our business. Tim is very experienced in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group for about 15 years. Stacey was with Deloitte all her working career. She worked here as well as overseas. And then the two non-accountants, you can see we're more fun than the accountants, right? Can you see that? We didn't have to study accountancy. Jane and myself. Jane is actually from the UK. She's been in South Africa for about 10 years. But she has a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. So she brings that international experience with her to the team. Because even though we're an insurance company, our growth in this market is very much determined by our effectiveness working in the referral, the network marketing space. And Jane brings that experience to the team. And then myself, I've been working in marketing and advertising. I head up all the communication and the branding of this business. I work a lot with the people that join us in this business. I've been working, like I said, in marketing for 20 years, all my working career. I started my own company in the mid-90s, a digital agency that specialized in online marketing and digital marketing. Ran that for about 15 years before I left that business. And joined the team here at DuePoint. So our mandate as staff of DuePoint is to support the people that join us. Right, that's our mandate. That's what we want to do. To be effective, or not to be effective, but to be profitable as a business, you guys have to be effective. And so we do everything to support you in that endeavor. All right. So that's a little bit of background on us, on the business. Why are we here this evening? Why did you run through the rain to come to a business presentation in Bryanston? For money, right? For money. So we discuss briefly some of the driving factors, and the driving factors are all negative. You can see when that word is on the screen. Can you see the four-letter word? When that word's on the screen, you know it's going to be a fairly depressing slide. So the driving factors at the moment, we recognize for sure the economy is certainly one of them. The economy plays out in the fact that there's high interest rates, high inflation, high food inflation, in the fact that our salaries aren't keeping up with the cost of living. That's probably the biggest driving factor, right? Because that gap's getting bigger and bigger. And unfortunately, we try to use debt to cover over that gap. And we often, as a country, as an economy, we're criticized because too many people are engaged too much in debt instruments and not enough in savings and investment products. But when you have this state where you've got your salary and it's not keeping up with the cost of living, people try to cover that gap using debt. And so we engage in a whole bunch of different debt instruments. Debt comes in all shapes and sizes. There are 1,000 different ways to engage in debt. And before you know it, we find ourselves in this debt cycle that we really struggle to get out of. Right? So we get a lot of statistics that shows us what debt looks like for the average South African, and it's really bad. Unfortunately, debt exacerbates your personal finance position. Like I said, you're in the cycle that you can't get out of, and it really comes to a head when you get to retirement, because whether you're retrenched or retired, you don't have any income, right? And so what you should be doing, if you are able to, is start investing enough during the 45 years that you work, so that you've got a retirement fund in place, so that when you do retire, you can go, oh great, look, this is the money I saved, and I can live off the interest of that. But only 2% of South Africans do that. The rest of us, 98% of us, will get to retirement, realize we haven't saved enough, if anything, try to get back into the job market with the other 10 million unemployed people, downgrade our lifestyles to such a degree that you can afford to live on whatever you are receiving as income. You become dependent on children, on other family, and so it's a place you don't want to be. And really this presentation is about the opportunity of changing that future circumstance for people, right? You want to empower yourselves today so that you're not part of that 98% when you get to retirement. And hopefully you can change your life a lot sooner before you get to retirement. So out of this negativity, these driving factors, we saw an opportunity as a business to create a platform called the DuePoint system that allows the average South African to engage in, like I said, to change their circumstance. We've got 3 aspirations in mind for the people that join this business. Number 1, we want to see people in this business become debt-free, right? Completely debt-free. I like to tell a little bit of a story, because I rushed through the negative stuff, so I'm sure everyone's happy with that. The wealth engineers, they criticize me and say, you spend too long on the negative stuff. Right? I hope I didn't spend too long on the negative stuff. But imagine being debt-free. So we, right at month end, right? Who got paid their salaries? Anyone get paid salaries? Not yet. It's coming this week, right? Or maybe you got retrenched, you don't know about it. Right? So you're hoping for that salary this week. So what happens? Month end, you get the SMS from the bank saying your income's been paid into your account. Right? We all know that SMS. And then what happens straight afterwards? 5 minutes later, then your phone goes crazy, right? Your phone goes crazy. You think it's family emergency. But it's your debit orders. All the debit orders. The companies know exactly when you're getting paid your salary, because they all stand in line to take debit orders, and then you hope that you don't run out of money by the time the last debit order is finished. When you become debt-free, completely debt-free, you get 1 SMS from your employer saying you've been paid an income. You get another SMS from DuePoint saying we've paid your return. And then silence. Silence. The money just stays in your account. Imagine that. Right? Imagine not having any debit orders. You've paid your house off. You've paid your car off. You pay for the kids' school education 1 year up front. In January, you pay the whole year. And throughout the year, you've got those 2 SMSs, income and return from DuePoint, just coming into your account every month. What are you going to do with all that money? Right? So that's our first aspiration. We want to see people in this business aspire to becoming debt-free. We want that to be your goal. For me, that was never a goal. Never. I ran my own company. We had a pretty decent company, a small business, but it thrived. We paid everyone salaries. We never retrenched anyone for 15, 20 years. Right? But never did I aspire to becoming debt-free. I always owed money on a car, owed money on the bond, owed money on the credit cards. Always. But for the first time, I want to become completely debt-free. Not 20 years time after I finish paying the bond, as soon as possible. Right? Because what that does is it empowers you towards our second aspiration. And our second aspiration is to create wealth. This is really what the presentation is all about. The presentation is really about the ability to create wealth. And you can only create wealth when you don't owe other people money. Yeah? So our first aspiration, become debt-free and then start creating wealth. You do this by creating value in assets that you own. Right? It might be investment products, but there's tons of different assets that you can invest in, that you can buy that have value. And then the third aspiration is just to be happier. Right? I can see some people are a little bit depressed because they haven't been paid salaries yet. Right? You don't know you've been retrenched yet, so you're going to be extra depressed at the end of this week. We want everyone to be happier because that's really why you're here. You might have been offered an income opportunity, but really in your heart you want to change your circumstance so that you're just happier. Not stressed at the end of the month, stressed at the end of the year. Right? So those are our 3 aspirations. You can align yourselves with these aspirations. You don't have to. It's completely up to you. But that's what we have in mind for the people that join this business. This is what drives us, right, to help people. So how does this work? You have the opportunity this evening to join DuePoint. When you join us, you're actually contracted with us, and we call you wealth engineers. And as wealth engineers, we only expect one thing of you, and that is for you to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. Now, this is all about this business, channels of distribution. We're going to talk about it constantly forever, right? So I'm going to show you what a channel of distribution is, just to give you an intro into what we're going to be doing in this business. But through these channels of distribution, which is really you introducing people to DuePoint, our online platform will facilitate the sale of products to the people that you introduce to us. And that's as simple as this business is. The benefit for you is you get to create additional income, but note that the type of income that you create here is recurring income. This is very important because some people refer to it passive income. I love the way my father described it. He described it to me when I was a little boy. He said, you need to get into a business that makes money while you're sleeping. I don't know what he was talking about. Making money while you're sleeping. I had no idea. Only much later in life, 10, 15 years later, when I was working for myself, when I realized, sitting in front of my computer, working month in, month out, starting at 0 every month, I realized, you know what? I'm not making money while I'm sleeping. If I walk away from this computer, the money stops. Right? And then I started changing my mindset. This paradigm shift started to happen where I thought, I need to start investing the next 20 years of my life into business that makes money while we sleep. And you get to enjoy that upside in this business. You get to enjoy leverage. So we call it the power of duplication. It is your opportunity to go out and find like-minded individuals that will collaborate with you in building your channel of distribution, right? So you'll go find, hopefully, some very effective, resourceful people to help you. And if they're helping you, your time spent in building these channels of distribution gets increased tenfold, right? Because if you've got 10 people helping you on a daily basis, that's not 1 hour a day you're putting in. Now suddenly 10 hours are being invested into your channel of distribution that's going to increase your recurring income. Right? So these 2 things, recurring income, power duplication, is your ability to free yourself of time constraint. What do we do in employment? In employment, you've got a contract that says you work 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for the whole month, then I pay your salary. Right? You don't come to work, I don't pay you. Okay, so we want to free ourselves of that time constraint, right? We want to make money while we sleep. Sorry, the business is flexi time. So what is that? It's the luxury of being able to decide when you do this business. How does this business fit into your life? And that's something you need to decide. How does the business fit into my life on a weekly basis? You speak to the experienced wealth engineers, they're like family, right? Because I see them all the time. You need to decide when we're going to be seeing each other. Right? It's a relationship that's now starting with DuePoint, and you have to nurture that relationship. And that might be once a week for you, it might be weekends, it might be in the evenings, it might be lunchtime. You get to decide what that looks like, but I promise you now, if you want to be successful in this business, it has to be something that is recurring. Right? You can't do this business when you feel like it. You're going to have to do this business when you don't feel like it. Right? But I think I've got a good audience because you still came in the rain tonight. So I think you've got a good endurance level in you. Okay, so that's a good sign. No startup capital. There's no registration fees in our business. We don't need you to buy boxes of product to get started in this business. So the business is very risk-free. No qualifications or experience required. That's notable because we work in the financial services space. We are regulated by the Financial Services Board. You don't have to worry about that. We take care of all the regulatory stuff. You're free just to go out and build channels of distribution. And at the same time, no one brought their CVs with them this evening, right? Did you bring your CV with you? No? You didn't leave it on the table? Fortunately, I don't care about your CV. I don't care about your CV, right? It's up to you and the amount of time that you spend in this business. I don't care who's got matric, who doesn't, who's got corporate experience, who's got degrees, it doesn't matter. Anyone can make it in this business. You get to build an asset, a very important benefit, because this is really why we're going to be sacrificing time into this business. If I say to you, I need you to sacrifice time into this business, you say, why? I say, because this thing you're building, you have ownership over. These channels of distribution, you have legal tender over them. What does that mean? It means you can sell it one day, right? We've had sales of channels already this year, many, many, many of them being sold. This business will survive you. If you build up a sustainable business, you can give it to your children, right? You've got this intrinsic value, this asset value that you can pass on to your children. If you die, you can seed it onto your beneficiaries. Imagine your grandchildren running the business that you started 50 years ago. Right? That's value. That's wealth, right? Wealth being passed from generation to generation. On the flip side, you can also pass debt to your children. We don't want to pass debt on to our children, right? We want to do the opposite. There's no selling involved in our business. This is a great thing, because who likes to sell? Do you like to go out and try to convince someone to buy something every weekend? Right? No one likes selling. And we actually contract you out of selling. You're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to talk about our products. That's a great thing. The nature of our products are financial in nature. That means we don't have the issues of stock and distribution. Like I said, we don't have boxes of product that you have to buy. Imagine now running through the rain with your milkshakes and your vitamins back to the car. Trying to open the boot. Right? We don't have those problems. Don't have to worry about finding space in the garage. There's no expiry date on our products. So we make the products as convenient as possible, and the business easy to engage with, right? But your success in this business is very dependent on your ability to go out and build these channels of distribution. So this is the number one activity. You're going to go out, well, first you become a wealth engineer. So that's you in the middle there. You become a wealth engineer and you're going to go out and tell people about the DuePoint business opportunity. Not our products, about the business opportunity, right? The number one attractive commodity in the country. And when you find people that are taken by the opportunity, right? They're like-minded. They think this is great. This can do something for them. They go out and do exactly the same thing as you. And you have this organic growth that takes place. This is where the power of duplication starts to happen, right? You spent only, how much time did you spend finding 5 people? Look what 5 people can potentially turn into. When this business exploded in Durban, we had a few wealth engineers that were new to the business. They literally put in 4 or 5 people, and a month later they had 300 in their channel, and they didn't know how it happened. It happened because of the people that they brought in were effective, resourceful, and they went and did the work, and those people then did the work. Right? That can happen in your channel. I'm hoping that you will bring in quality people, because if you bring in quality people and they bring in quality people and this quality gets duplicated throughout your channel, what happens is you build a sustainable channel. A sustainable channel is something that you can walk away from and it doesn't collapse. That's why it's important to always build quality, because you want to walk away from it one day, remember? You want to make money while you're sleeping. So if you build this channel that's sustainable, in 3-5 years' time you can walk away. Go on holiday, go overseas for 3 years with your kids. 3 years, 3 months. Right? 3-month holiday. Imagine a 3-month holiday. And you'll get that SMS every month anyway from DuePoint saying, we're paying your return, we're paying your return, we're paying your return. But that only happens if you build a quality business, right? It's easy to go out and say, anyone want a job? Come speak to me. Then everyone off the street comes running. That's not the way to build a quality business, right? You've got to pick your board of directors. You pick them. You decide who you want to work with for the rest of your life in this channel. So be very discerning when you build this channel. So that's what a channel looks like. This is our disclaimer slide. You'll be warned, or should I say forgiven, for perhaps thinking that you were invited to a get-rich-quick scheme. Who thought that? No one wants to admit it, right? The person that invited you, I said, that's a scheme. Now you don't want to admit to it here in the presentation. That's okay. That's okay. We're not one of those schemes, very fortunately. Actually, some people wish this was a get-rich-quick scheme. Who wants to get rich slowly? No one, right? That's the problem with us. That's the problem with us. We're not a get-rich-quick scheme. We're a 70-year-old insurance business. We're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange. We would never align ourselves with anything like one of those schemes, right? We would never take that risk for a business that's 70 years old. Never. Very reputable individuals in this business. And at the same time, we'll never promise you success easily in this business or quickly, because that doesn't actually exist in any sphere of life. It just doesn't. Anyone that promises you easy or quick success, they're lying to you. They're trying to manipulate you to get something out of you, right? And so because of that, we have to work hard in this business. You've got to have endurance. You've got to have that persistency, that tolerance for pain. because if you try to run any business and make a success out of any business, you go speak to anyone that's tried to start their own companies. 95% of them fail in the first year. Right? So the odds are against you. You have to work hard in this business. You've got to sacrifice time. But it's like a Christmas present. Remind me tomorrow. See, it's going to come up when Brendan's doing the presentation tomorrow. Right? And so I say to you now, be prepared to work hard in this business. Don't think it's going to happen on its own. Okay. So how do you benefit as a wealth engineer? Or how do you earn as a wealth engineer? So there's two ways. One is through our returns program. The other one's through our rewards program. So our returns program works like this. We pay you a return based on the product that you have in your channel. So a return is what we pay you at the end of every month, right? This is the main way to earn money in this business. We pay a base return of R27.50 for every product that you have in your channel. Remember the first 5 individuals that you brought in? So this is just an example. Those people lie on your first point. They're 1 point away from you, and we actually pay you R55 for each one of those products every month. And then those people go out and they find other people. Those people lie on your second point. And on your second point, again, we pay you R55 for every product every month. And then to the third point, you see the multiplier drops to R27.50 again. Fourth point, fifth point, all the way down to the 8th point, you see the multiplier starts to drop to the 8th point, but we don't stop you at point 8. We will keep paying you from point 8 onwards, right? We've got people in this business that are already built up to point 30. They're still earning up to point 30 because we pay from point 8 to infinity in theory, the 4% of the R27.50. We don't limit you on how big your channel can get here. We don't limit you on how much money you can earn. If you can build 30 points in 18 months, what can you do in 30 years? Think about how big their channels are going to be in 30 years' time if they keep enduring in this business. Okay, so this is the mechanics of the returns. The next typical question is, well, how much money can you earn in this business over a certain amount of time? So we built this path to success. It is a projection over the next 5 years. It is dependent on a growth formula. The growth formula says, can you bring 3 people in your first month, and then every consecutive month you bring in another 2. So let's call it the 1st of December, right? So in December you bring 3 people, right? 1 on the 1st of December, 1 at Christmas lunch, 1 at the New Year's party, right? 3 people in December. Then in January you bring in another 2, February another 2, March another 2, April another 2. So you keep bringing 2 people every month into perpetuity, right? If you can follow that growth formula, you can expect to earn these numbers. R2,500 after 6 months. Not impressive, right? Get rich quick scheme will be offering 25,000 after 6 months, surely. Huh? 2,500 after 6 months. Is it worth 6 months of work? Huh? This guy on stage has been telling us how hard we have to work. Now he's only offering us 2,500 after 6 months. I want to give you some context to money, to the value of money, because this is another mistake we make, is we think of money like spenders, like consumers. How does a consumer think of money? Think about this last weekend, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, people going crazy in the shops, right? They are all consumers, they are spenders. I'm also a consumer. I fall victim to it all the time. I had to hold back this weekend not to buy some stuff that I saw online. Right? I didn't go to the shops, I did all my shopping online. But we think like consumers, right? So if I say to you, R2,500, you go, I can buy this, I can buy that, I can buy that, right? But if I say to an entrepreneur, an investor, someone who's building wealth, if I say R2,500 a month, do you think they think, what can I spend it on? Or do you think, how can I make that R2,500 work for me? Right? That's how entrepreneurs think. We have to start thinking like that too. So I'm going to help you here. Here's an example of someone with a R1 million bond. Right? Because we all have debt. So here with a R1 million bond, you're going to be paying that bond off for the next 20 years, right? You're going to be paying the bank about 11,500 Rand a month for 20 years. I'm 40, so if I engage in a bond today, I get to pay the house off when I'm 60. When I'm retired, I make my last payment on the house. Right? Sounds horrible, doesn't it? But 6 months later, with some success at DuePoint, I'm earning 2,500 Rand, and instead of spending the 2,500 Rand, I do that boring thing. Rob said, pay your debt off faster. Right? I prefer to buy new shoes or some audio equipment or something nice, but I rather put the money into my bond Don't even see it. Put the money in the bond as an additional payment. Do you know what happens? You get to pay that house off in 11 and a half years instead of 20. You nearly halve the term of the bond with just 2,500 rand a month. Now I can pay the house off when I'm 51 instead of 60. It saves me, in interest that I pay back to the bank, it saves me 1 million rand in savings on a R1 million house. Now I've got an extra 14,000 rand a month that I can invest into a retirement, right? After 12 months, you're on over 100,000 rand, 108,000 rand in annual recurring income. Who would like 100,000 rand just before December every year? The taxman would like half. That's for sure. The taxman's agreeing with you. Yes, go do DuePoint. All right? That's after 12 months. After 24 months, we're on nearly 30,000 rand a month. See how quickly that jumped? From 2.5, now we're at 30. You keep going. After 36 months, nearly 50,000 a month. 600,000 rand a year. 36 months away. You want to look at the bond example? 30-month mark, 5 million rand bond. You put 36,000 rand into your 5 million rand house. You'll pay that bond off in less than 7 years. So you want to think like an entrepreneur again? We pay our debt off first, right? So at 47, I finish paying that house off. At 54, I finish paying a second house off. At 61, I finish paying off a third house. I'm living in one 5 million rand house. I'm renting out 2 other 5 million rand houses. That's 70, how much? 60, 70,000 a month in rental coming in every month. Plus what DuePoint's paying me, plus what my employer's paying me. Is that not the way to do it? Right? This is how we need to start thinking. Let your imagination run wild. Because creating recurring income gives you options. Right? Salary doesn't give you options. Salary is paying the debit orders and groceries. Right? The recurring income is there to empower you, not to allow you to spend more and to buy nicer things. Right? But this is a decision we've got to make. It's a difficult decision. 48 months, after 70,000 rand a month. After 60 months, you've made, or you're making, about 1 million rand in recurring income every year. Imagine earning an extra 100,000 rand a month over and above your day job. Who's going to give up their day job before they get to 100,000 a month? I'll ask them. I'll ask everybody. What you can tell your boss. You've got the freedom to tell your boss what you really think about him. Right? When you're making that much money and the boss gives you trouble, for the first time you can tell him or her what you really think about them. Right? Because you've got options. Right? We don't have options now. Can you tell your boss what you think about them now? You can't do that. You're too scared to get fired, right? 10 million people unemployed. You're going to be standing in the line with them. Right? We don't have options today. We don't. This business is about creating options. So this is based on 3 plus 2. Remember the example 3 plus 2? 2 people every consecutive month will get you here. It'll get you here. But you've got to do it consistently for 60 months. We've got people that do 3 plus 2. We've got people that do more than 3 plus 2. We've got people do less than 3 plus 2. You've got to run your own race. You've got to decide what you want out of this business and then figure out how to get there. Everybody is different. But we've got some wealth engineers. We love to showcase them to show you what's possible, right? So here's Nick and Shani. They've been in here for over a year. They're sitting at just over 4,000 rand a month. What options do you have when you're creating extra 4,000 a month for yourself? We know that putting 2,500 into a bond saves you 1 million rand. 4,000 rand a month in the space of a year. I want to give you some context again. We need to pull ourselves back a little bit. So retirement planning. Is anyone under the age of 25 here? Anyone under the age of 25? Close, right? Okay, so let's say you're 25, right? If you save 800 rand a month and you put it into your retirement fund, right? Into a retirement annuity, an RA. That 800 rand after 40 years, because now you're going to be saving until you're 65. From 25 to 65, you save 800 rand a month, you'll have 1 million rand in a bank. Do you know how much the 1 million rand will pay you out in interest? That retirement fund will then pay you out interest so that when you retire, you can live on the interest, right? That's how retirement planning works. That R1,000,000 will pay you out 5,000 rand a month. But you've got to save for 40 years. Or you can do it in a year. But it takes extra work, right? Jack Delama from Mpumalanga joined in January. He's already at just over 8,000 a month. Look at how it's gone up. They always go up. Don Landon, always going up. Joined in December. He actually didn't do anything for the first 6 months. He only started working in June. In June, he went from, I think, 300 rand. In a single month, he moved nearly 4,000 rand in a single month. Crazy growth. They call him the doctor of networking. Can you believe it? Eh? Hey, Pat? And he's got sage words, because when he was up on stage, he said, you know what, guys? He says, this business is so simple. It's so simple. All you need to do is speak to people. You don't have to have a degree in engineering. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to get Rob to approve your CV. You just have to speak to people. But, he says, if you're not speaking to someone every day, you're not doing this business. Right? That's the trick. Motolete Sona from Free State, already at over 11,000. Joined in April. She jumped to nearly 5,000 in 60 days. It's crazy, right? She created for herself a R1,000,000 investment in the space of 90 days. Guys, we can't think of money as spending, because I can spend 5,000 rand in 5 seconds online. I can spend it. Spending is the easiest thing in the world, right? We've got to use it, leverage it, make it work for us. Don't work for the money. You make the money work for you. So we've got thousands of wealth engineers that are joining this business every month, creating additional income streams for themselves. Like I said, everybody is different. Decide what you want out of the business and decide how much time you need to sacrifice to get there. Because only you can make that decision. So this is our returns program. This is what we pay people at the end of every month. I said there was a second way, right? Through our rewards program. So our rewards program works like this. You become a new wealth engineer and you will start engaging in typical wealth engineer activities, like coming to presentations, bringing guests with you, logging into the website, watching training. When you do all of these things, we give you something called XP. It stands for experience points, right? So for every guest that you brought tonight, you would get 1,000 XP. See there? 1,000 XP for each guest in head office, right? Only up until the 15th of December. But when you start collecting more XP and your business starts to grow, we reward you. Over and above what I'm paying you every month, we give you extra rewards, right? So if you join, you start out as a rank 0 wealth engineer. Can you see you're not even on the slide? Because you're not important. Right? Because you haven't done anything. Right? That's why it's so important. You've got to get to rank 1. When you get to rank 1, well, to get to rank 1, you need 1,000 XP. We know that's easy. 4 products in your qualified channel. You become rank 1, and then we pay you a 55 Rand reward at the end of the month. Once off. It's only once off. That's not recurring income. It's a once-off reward. But as you rank up, right, your channel gets bigger, you're collecting more XP, you start ranking up, the rewards get bigger, 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give our wealth engineers tools that help them be more effective in building their channels of distribution. At rank 5, we give them this little lightning USB drive. It's a wonderful little device because it plugs into anything. It can plug into cell phones, tablets, laptops, computers, TVs, Android, Apple, banana, plugs into all those devices, right? So that Patrick and Pumi can show people the videos that are on that, show people the DuePoint opportunity, the testimonials, the intro videos, whatever, regardless of what device they have around them. At rank 7, we spent 12,500 Rand on each set of business cards. We print 1,000 business cards for you. There's actually no printing done. There's no ink on this business card. The logo and the edges are gilded and foiled in gold. I've been in advertising for 20 years. I've never seen anyone with business cards like that. Never. It was a privilege designing cards like this, right? To see them, to feel them. You can ask Pat if you can touch one of his business cards. He won't give you the business card. He'll let you feel it and then he'll take it back. Right? But why would we spend so much money on business cards? Because this business depends very much on first impressions and credibility. You can call it a sales tool, right? You've got to act professionally. When you pull out a 12,500 Rand business card and you say, this is the business I'm talking about, the person listening to you suddenly takes notice because your business card is about 50 times more expensive than the one they've got in their wallets. They'll say, tell me a little more about DuePoint. How did you get business cards like that? It's your opportunity to build your channel of distribution more effectively. At Rank 9, we take our Rank 9 wealth engineer and their families, business class flights to our international conference, 7 days away, all expenses paid trip, 5-star luxury resort. Not once, every single year you come with us. Every single year. Your kids won't know what economy class is. You know economy class? Sitting in the back of the plane? They'll say, Mommy, who are the people sitting in the back of the plane all the time? Because they'll only travel business class every single year. So take a look. This is where we're going. In 35 days' time, our Rank 9s take off on their way to Mauritius, and this is available to everybody in the room. Not this year, next year. You won't make this year. But it's waiting for you next year.
You've drawn some to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
How does that look? Looks all right, huh? Well, you're going to see wealth engineers. In January, when we come back, you're going to see footage of the wealth engineers and their families having been in Mauritius, because it's our first trip to Mauritius in December. Now, this is available for everybody next year. You've got 12 months, 13 months to make it to next year's Rank 9 conference. We had one gentleman, he made Rank 9 in 5 months. Right, so we know it's possible. You can take twice as long as Spamandla. Okay. At Rank 11, we spent R250,000 on a brand new car and give it to our wealth engineers. Paid cash in your name. There you go. No debit order at the end of the month. One less debit order SMS to come through. Right? When the car you're driving is paid by DuePoint. So this is our rewards program. It's Rank 11. You saw the program go up to Rank 20. We've already designed it up to Rank 28. Rank 28, probably the next 25, 30 years, mapped out for our wealth engineers. If you can get to Rank 1, you can get to any rank, because the activity is exactly the same. You're speaking to people at Rank 1, and you're still going to be speaking to people at rank 28. Does that sound a bit boring? Okay. Endurance, guys, endurance. There's a third way to benefit as wealth engineer. That's through our Wealth Quest. So this month's Wealth Quest is called Come Fly With Me. It is a challenge that we issue our wealth engineers. It runs from the first of the month to the last of the month. We challenge you this month to rank up any existing or new wealth engineer. And then at the same time, if you can qualify a new wealth engineer, then we'll give you will have earned this 49-inch smart LED TV that'll be sitting in your lounge just in time for Christmas. Right, so that's on offer. There's only a few days left, so we'll already start to see which wealth engineers are going to qualify for the Wealth Quest. So those are 3 ways to benefit as a wealth engineer. We get asked the question, well, how does DuePoint afford all of this? So very basically, traditional insurance companies spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising, right? For client acquisition, makes sense. At DuePoint, we don't spend any money on marketing and advertising. So you won't see a DuePoint logo outside of our building. Why? Because we depend on you guys, on our wealth engineers, to go out and tell people about the DuePoint business opportunity. And so we don't have to spend the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition. We can take that portion of our subscriptions and premiums, attribute it to returns and rewards that we pay our wealth engineers. And that's basically how our business model works. We've got 3 products. The benefits of all 3 products are financial in nature. You are free to look at taking out 1 product or all 3 products. It's completely up to you. It's a personal decision. Product number 1 is called the Access Wealth Plan. It is broken up into 2 products. So for 299 Rand a month, 100 Rand will get invested into a tax-free investment fund that sits with Sanlam, right? So it's a full access, no notice, not a restricted account. You can draw that investment out at any stage. You don't have to give us 30 days notice or 60 days notice. So it's fully flexible. And then the second part of the Access Wealth Plan is the amount of personal accident cover that you get to the value of 110,000 Rand. So this is our investment product, right? So for 299, 100 Rand goes into the investment. You get the investment plus you get some insurance, the 110,000 Rand personal accident cover. So that's product number 1, Access Wealth. Product number 2 is called Wealth Guard. It is 274 Rand a month. This is strictly insurance. So this is only insurance. For 274, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. Right? So if you take this product out with the previous product, you see you get 1.21 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. So the beauty of our personal accident cover products is that we can offer this product to anyone over the age of 18. It's not like funeral cover or life insurance. We don't profile you from a health risk point of view. So you can be diabetic, you can be 70, you can have cancer, you can still take out this product. The premium stays the same, the amount of cover that you receive remains the same. So this is Wealth Guard, the insurance product. Product number 3 is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club program. So Wealth Points aims to save us money on the money that we spend every month anyway. So we spend a lot of money on probably groceries, right? There's a whole bunch of things, data, groceries, whatever. So for 274 Rand a month, you get to enjoy the discounts that we've negotiated with the list of partners that you see over there. So we've got data partners. You can get a gig for 36 Rand. We've got a couple of retailers. We've got ShopRite Checkers. You can get discounts to ShopRite Checkers on your total trolley. Take a lot. We've got Yuppie Chef, Hirsch's. We've got a couple of beauty and hair suppliers. We've got a growing list of partners all the time there. So this is a great product. If you're looking for immediate benefit, this is a good product to go with. Right? So those are the 3 products. They're very straightforward products. If you have any questions, you're welcome to come ask me. There's more information on our website on the products, and there's more comprehensive information on YouTube if you want to go watch a video on each of the products. Okay. So what is the decision we need to make this evening? What is the decision? Is the decision, do I want to make more money? No. We all want to make more money, right? The decision really is, are you willing to partake in the downside of entrepreneurship? What's the downside of entrepreneurship? Sacrificing time, doing it when you don't feel like it, being consistent, persistent, dealing with people. People are frustrating to deal with. Can you carry on dealing with people even when they frustrate you? When they say one thing and they don't do it, they do something else? Can you persist in that environment? Can you keep pushing when everything seems to be against you? That's the downside of entrepreneurship. Because if you can endure that, right, then you get to enjoy the upside of entrepreneurship. And that's the ability to create recurring income for yourself that empowers you to become debt-free and start creating wealth. That's the decision. Can you put up with the rubbish to get the success? Nothing comes free, right? That's what's on offer. Joining is very straightforward. Read our code of conduct. It's our contract with you that defines what you can and cannot do as a wealth engineer. And then jump onto our homepage, www.DuePoint.net. Go through the online application. It takes about 7 minutes. And then you're a wealth engineer. And then start looking at some of the training that we've made. We've got all our videos on YouTube and available through the app. And then start applying yourself to this business. You have to apply yourself to this business like you would any other business. Whether it's a big business or a little business, we all do the same thing. We set goals, we strategize, we have a plan. And then the basic activity of this business is just going out and speaking to people. If you're not speaking to someone every day, you're not doing this business. Keep saying to that to yourself every morning when you wake up. If I don't speak to someone today, I'm not doing this business. Right? We've got merchandise. Please consider getting business cards. Remember I said this business very much relies on first impressions and credibility. If you start out in this business and you go propose some awesome business called DuePoint to somebody and they say, great, how do I get hold of you? And then you tear the scrap piece of paper off your diary. Let me write my number here for you. No, we don't do business like that. Please get the business cards. You get 500 business cards. Go take a look at them. They're in the merchandise cabinet. The pricing's all there. We've got USB sticks. All our videos are on the USB stick. We've got pens. We've got power banks for your phone so your phone doesn't die because your phone is a primary tool in this business. Notebooks. We've got the caps. Those pins that people wear on their lapels signify people that are rank 1. They're the people that are earning in this business. So don't go ask advice from somebody who doesn't have a pin because you're asking someone who's part of the 0+0 club. Right? You want to speak to people who are experienced, who know how to do this business, who are earning in this business. When you get to rank 1, you make sure you buy that pin. Right? I think they start at 40 Rand. So that's the merchandise, guys. Once you become a wealth engineer, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 500 videos on our YouTube channel, all neatly categorized. Tells you every time a live stream's about to start. Tells you every time we load up a new video. Download the mobile app. We've got an awesome new mobile app that's been around for about 2 months now. Make sure everyone in your channel has upgraded their app because I still see some people with the old app. And then once you've installed the new app, take a profile photo, a selfie. Because the moment you take a selfie and update your profile photo, we give you 1,000 XP. Just like that. Right? 1,000 XP for a smile. Some don'ts. So I'm going to highlight some of the important sections of the code of conduct. You cannot become a wealth engineer if you don't have the resources to be a wealth engineer, right? So that includes whether you can afford it or not. This business is not for unemployed people, the destitute. It isn't. It's for resourceful people. We are trying to empower people that already have the resources to do this business. Business is not a charity. So if you can't afford it, you can't be a wealth engineer. I hope that goes without saying. You're going to need access to the internet. It's probably one of the investments that if you ever need to make an investment, it's going to be in data in this business. Because this business is very much data-driven. Everything's on YouTube. The training's on YouTube. The live streams are on YouTube. Right? We don't have any printed out anything. No forms, no brochures, nothing. Everything's online. So you need access to the internet. If you struggle with transport, you're going to struggle with this business because it requires you to be mobile. You're going to have to see people. You're going to have to come to head office or go do meetings. People come to you. You need access to transport. Don't ever complete a DuePoint application form on behalf of somebody else. This is actually fraudulent. So not only breaks the code of conduct, this actually breaks law, right? Because I see it happening all the time. People taking down details, writing them down and say, oh, don't worry, I'll do it for you later tonight. Guys, we cannot do that, right? If you get caught, you're going to be in big trouble. You can't add direct family members that live in the same household as you. You can't add them into the same channel. We call it an anti-stacking rule. So if you've got family that live with you, they can't be in your channel. If you've got family and they don't live with you, they can be in your channel, right? Is that an easy rule to remember? So people in the same household as you cannot be in your channel. Don't start your own DuePoint Facebook page. Now, this is our biggest bugbear, and it's actually in contravention of the Code of Conduct. It's in contravention of the Phase Act, so you're breaking law. You can't advertise DuePoint or any of our subsidiaries or any of our products, you can't mention it on Facebook, you can't advertise it, you can't publish it on Facebook or Twitter or any social media platform. Right? So we've got a company that's contracted purely just to look for people doing that. And it's easy. Online, you just do searches and the list comes up. We go through the whole list, we find your phone number, we find your wealth engineer number, and we suspend you immediately. And then when you try add somebody, it says, sorry, this person's been suspended. And that's very embarrassing. Your credibility goes down very low when that error comes up on screen, right? So don't do anything on Facebook, please. And then don't send a lead wealth engineer to DuePoint or to a presentation on their own or unassisted. This talks about taking care of the people that you prospect. The people that you want to bring into the business, you have to look after them, right? You have a responsibility around them. Because we've got people that arrive here at head office. They say, oh no, met someone on Facebook. They said, I must just come to head office. Right? That's not my job. I'm not supposed to take care of that person. This is my job here on stage. It ends here on the stage. Right? Your job is to take care of your prospects. Because these people that you bring onto your first point, it's like your board of directors. You don't know who's going to do this business with you. Right? So you've got to take care of all of them. You've got responsibility around that. We've got Teamworks meetings. This is your opportunity. You can phone reception and say, I'd like to have a meeting with Rob or Brendan. I'm going to bring my team. I want them to help me. That's what a Teamworks meeting is. They are hugely beneficial. When I sit down and I have Teamworks meetings, I can feel the benefit that the team's getting. Because there's still lots of misconceptions about things. People are confused. It's your opportunity to speak to me. And I can speak back to you and make sure that you're doing things right? But you have to phone reception and book, and you have to have a little bit of a team. You can't come on your own and say, I don't have a team. Build a team first, make the mistakes, and then come talk to me. I can help you correct the mistakes. Okay? 3 days left. Until? 3 days left until what? Permanent Puza Thursday till halfway through January. Everyone already went on holiday in October, I saw. But for you guys, I can see you're not on holiday. You're hungry for more, right? So I'm telling you now, you've got 3 days to do this business that'll pay you just before Christmas. Because all of November's business that you do, right? All of those people that you bring in that make their payments in November, we pay you a return just after halfway through December. So you need to ask yourself today, am I going to make the next 3 days count so that I get an SMS from DuePoint saying I've been paid money just before Christmas? Or do I do nothing over 3 days and I get zero just before Christmas? 3 days to make a difference to yourselves, guys. 3 days to make that paycheck as big as possible just before Christmas. Guys, the only people that can design their futures are yourselves. It's a decision you need to make. So good luck. I'll chat to anyone who has any questions. Thank you.